Hello there, world of tankers, and welcome to the channel. I'm your host, the Droodles Blitz, and in today's video, I'll be showcasing how to use the VK7201K, the German tech tree, Tier 10 Super Heavy, effectively on the battlefield, most specifically focusing on the vehicle's armor today. The armor on the tank is good and bad at the same time, and the best way to describe it is you got these big old balls on the side of it. You can see it. Well, it's just one circular ball, but it creates these two weak corner spots on both sides of the tank. If your opponents have the opportunity to shoot right where my mouse is here, they will penetrate the tank. Even at an angle like this, if they see this corner cut out, they will pen the tank, and that is the exact same weak spot on this side of the vehicle as well. The main strong point of the VK is actually this part right here on the tank. The middle plate is about the weakest part when it comes to the stronger parts. It's about 260 thick, but that means if you angle the tank at about an angle like this, that lower plate becomes very hard to penetrate. So that's exactly what we're going to be doing in today's video, is showcasing the armor, how it works, but at the same time, kind of showcasing how the VK plays, because armor isn't everything, especially with a vehicle that has 640 damage per shot, 2,900 hit points, and a very, very nasty chunk of alpha when you're using tungsten that goes over like 720 or 15. It's a big shell. So there's a lot of good things about the VK, but there's also a lot of bad things. For example, the damage per minute is the worst in tier 10 for a heavy, right up next to like the Kron, but obviously the Kron's an auto reloader, so it's a bit different on its DPM. It's a lot more effective due to the way it works. So first thing you want to do in a German super heavy is look at what you're up against. We have a Type 68, a K91, and that's it for heavies. Then we can see their mobility, being the T100LT, and the Progetto and the Patton. They have 3 mobile tanks, 2 heavies. Already off to a interesting start as we take a look at the lineup. Because of the way that they have mobility centered, it would actually be more beneficial for me to go wide, where you can see my 121 and enemy T100LT are pushing. Oh, don't get in my way, or get in my way. That works too. But that's what I'm thinking, is I'm going to go wide, especially because they also have a 183. The side of the VK72 is very easily penetrated by German, or not even German, but any type of tank destroyer, really. The side armor is not great, and it doesn't have spaced armor, like, for example, the E100 does. What that means is that HE shells can get through the side if you have enough pen. And what tank has a lot of premium pen, especially when it comes to high explosive? Oh yeah, we know what I'm talking about. The FE2 and 5B 183. Now, the enemy team is losing big time already. I haven't even been able to get into the gameplay, and already somebody has died, which is pretty impressive. Now, usually 183s like to sit right there. We can see that we spotted the Type 68. We also got the T100LT off to the side, but the FE2 and 5B 183 has been spotted. We're going to put on our tungsten and get a big ol' slap. Now we're just going to back up, but it looks like he didn't even shoot me. He went for my teammate. At this point, honestly, there's not much to really say. I was going to try and angle the armor, but this game is going so fast, there's nothing to angle. Their team is dying incredibly fast. Alright, well, at least we got some bounces here. A good example of where that frontal armor is pretty decent on the tank. Maybe we will get to showcase some angling with the vehicle. Really, all you want to do when it comes to this tank's armor is not show the sides. It's that simple. You also don't want to show the front dead on, because you can be penned in the front, but let's see if we can get past that 183. We were able to. Very, very sketchily. I was kind of worried that we'd be bonked, but we didn't. Alright, we got a nice bounce from the Foch at this point. He can't shoot me anymore, and apparently that tracked me. Interesting. Alright, well, I know that the K91 is going to shoot me in the side, which he is proceeding to do so, but it shouldn't matter all too much, as we get a nice slap into the enemy Type 68. Foch misses me, and there you go. The enemy is already basically completely dead. All they have left is a T100LT in mid, and the Foch off to the side. We're going to load in a heat shell. Looks like the Foch is actually running the single shotgun, interestingly enough. Alright, let's aim it on the Foch, and fire! Oh yeah, there you go. Nice slap into the Foch, bringing us over 3,000 damage, although I think we also got a little bit of a ram out, so we should be a teeny bit more. Unfortunately, though, That was not a great example of the tank's armor at all. I was really hoping I could showcase, kind of how to use it, but this is also a good example of where you might not be able to use the armor. On maps that are not town-oriented, that have flat ground, using a tank like this is not always the easiest, and you need to come up with what the best decision-making is. Now, obviously, you saw that I chose to use the tank's hull-down capabilities when I could have, and even without the hull-down capabilities, as I said earlier, you got 2,900 hit points, and you got a big alpha, so you don't really need to worry about its armor unless you're getting low on HP or you're up against opponents that you can actually work it against. But if you're in a situation like that, where, as I said right at the beginning, I know my team's winning, there really isn't much of an advantage using the armor on the tank rather than just driving out and doing what I did. So, this is going to be a better game. Up against us, we have a VK-72, we have an E50M. Honestly, they don't really have super heavies. Neither do we, though. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start off by using my gun depression. This tank actually has decent turret armor because it's a rounded turret, and it also features pretty solid height. Now, that's weird to say, but it's true. This is a very tall tank. Look at me, like, easily just dwarfing over the Badger. Height is great because it means that when you're on a map like this and a lot of hilly terrain allows you to look over your opponent's hull down, that is exactly what the VK-72 is very good at. At this point, though, you still should keep in mind that if I showcase the armor incorrectly, it can be very easy to cut right through the tank. So, unfortunately for us, we missed the enemy STB-1. And we're already down our TVP. It's actually very sad that we're down our TVP already, but we are. That's impressive, too. It's actually very impressive we managed to lose a tank that fast. We got the Object 260 off to the side, and we got the E50M all the way on the side as well. We're going to aim it on the E50M to start off with, and bonk. There you go. Nice slap. I was going to shoot tungsten, but I didn't really think it was necessary. Our Badger is probably going to be slapped here, but at this point, we're just making sure we're hull down. It's a good spot to just work the VK, to work the hull-down capabilities it has. We have the Jagdpanzer off to the side. We're going to aim it on this tank, and we're going to use tungsten right now. Unfortunately, even though we did use tungsten and we have a lot of alpha riding on the shell, didn't really matter because we couldn't pen the Yag in the end of the day. Our Kron is throwing his tank away. You can see he's literally driven the tank in a non-hull down position and is just, completely killing himself. Come on. Unfortunately, the HE shell did not penetrate the side of the Object 260. What is our Badger doing? Bro, are you... Okay. Well then, this is not going well. That's really the best way to describe what's going on at this point. We have the E50M off to the side, and... Nice. We got the clear, but we've also lost a tank. Now, this here is another great example to talk about the VK-72. The VK-72 does not have DPM. And when I say it does not have DPM, I really mean it. This thing has absolutely horrid levels of damage per minute. What that means is when you're using the tank in a lot of situations, like the one I'm showcasing here, the damage per minute does not really allow you to work the tank great at all. You can see that. Now, we got a Yag off to the side, and I'm really hoping I can bait this guy into the Yag. Come on, get baited into the Yag. Oh, yeah. Come on, Yag. Start turning, you poob. Oh, my God. I hate when people are oblivious to what's going on around them. But we're going to get behind the 62A. There you go. Nice 800 slap. At this point, we are still alive. Now, you're going to notice I'm going to keep my frontal armor towards the 62A at this point. And I'm going to turn sideways here, just so the 62A loses a bit of health trying to get around me. Now, obviously, the 62 at this point is trying to make it as hard as possible for me to deal with him, but we get a nice fire on his tank. He's still going to rip into me with the crazy DPM that vehicle carries, but I'm going to make it very hard for him to be able to. Now, you'll notice, again, very slow tank, and because of that, it's not the easiest to work every capability of it. So we're going to finish off you. There you go. 62A gets cleared. But now we got the STB-1 on my rear. We got a nice bounce once. So what I'm going to do at this point is I'm going to keep on backing up. We're going to keep on going this way. Keep on going this way. What I'm hoping to do is get possibly a bounce from this VK. That's all I'm hoping. Come on. Well, you know what? Oh, we did get a bounce. Perfect. Yes. All right. Now we're going to back up this way like this. This is where possibly my armor, you're going to notice I'm going to angle it outward, away from the STB. This way, my tank's armor will actually be a bit more effective. Now, at this point, all we need to do is aim at the VK, finish him off, keep on angling our armor, not in a way that that STB can hit me, and holy, we are actually going to win this battle. Well, there you go. This was a great example to showcase the VK's armor. You'll notice how it's terrible on the sides. I mean, we literally bounced nothing from that 62A. But at the same point, I used the tank to the most effective I could have in just using my hit points, staying frontally. Notice how I tried as little as possible to angle my tank. When vehicles like the 62A are shooting at me, especially because that guy was not shooting heat, it was more beneficial by a lot just to stay in front of him. We got a couple bounces from him, which was nice. We got a bounce from the STB, and we got some bounces from the VK72. Never once did I try to over-angle my sides and let him shoot them, because when you do that, it allows the opponents to get shells on you that you don't want. So there you have it. 5,424 damage dealt. And, yeah, an absolutely crazy victory. That is the VK72 for you. It's a good tank in some situations. You noticed where the DPM and accuracy aren't good. We missed that Yag, and it was a pretty easy shot that missed too. But that's what happens sometimes. And we missed a couple other shells as well that really hurt our DPM. But we also had the opportunity to high explosive pen that 62A. And even though our HE didn't pen the Object 263, we still rolled 400 on him. So I really like the VK. It's a tank that requires a lot of skill and a lot of common knowledge on how to use its armor. But if you can use it correctly, and the gun, and everything on it, you can do great. Hopefully you enjoyed today's video, and if you'd like to see more like it, please consider smashing that subscribe button down below. I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.